all I got was negative feedback. Have you ever been in one of those jobs ever, Eric, or have you been one of the lucky ones?
Oh no, unfortunately, I have been in one of those jobs.
I think
Uh,
many of us can probably identify with that, don't you think?
yeah, absolutely. Luckily, this isn't one of those jobs. I
No,
got to
no.
clarify that, put that
I
disclaimer out
love
there,
the
of
people
course.
here.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have a great team,
yeah.
thankfully. But yeah, I think we can all relate to being in that job where they just think that motivation is just, saying negative stuff constantly. So you'll supposedly get your act together, but it doesn't really work like that, does it?
Yeah, it was just crazy. And I thought, life is just too short for this. And I always give, if I don't want to be around anymore, I always give a 2 week notice. And, but I didn't this time. I called the GM and I said, I need you to relieve me. I'm quitting. And so he showed up and I walked off the job. And you know what? At that point, the heavens rearranged and my whole life just totally restarted. And it's been amazing ever since. I went to Ocean Shores a month later and for a kind of a spirit fair, kind of one of those.
Hmm.
There's a great one coming up, in fact, April 21st on my birthday. And I'm going to be there too, but it's a woman's fair and it's kind of mind, body, spirit related. I do believe it's in Linwood, and I'll be talking more about that as that gets nearer. But I went to one of those fairs and I talked to a lot of psychics, and one of them said, "You're going to move, and you're going to move in 2 months." And I thought, 3 or 4 maybe, but
Hmm.
not 2. No, you don't know how much stuff I have. Not 2. It's inconceivable, and it was inconceivable. And I'd been working with a coach that I still work with, and she's intuitive as heck. She can check in with my guides, and it is quite sensational the hour that we spend every week. But anyway, I was working with her already, and I was living in this dark apartment, and my roommate had left, and I was sort of just surrounded by a mess and wanted so much more and never would have thought that I could move in 2 months. And I really did. I moved in less than 2 months. I treated myself to a moving company actually moving me. So, of course, that helped. I couldn't have done it on my
Yeah.
own. And so, Eric, so I moved to this area again, to an apartment. And I swear, there are huge boxes that you can get at, my movers got them at Office Depot, and humongous, like monumentally big. And so I was looking at stacks of these boxes that I couldn't move very easily either. And I didn't know where everything was because the labels weren't so good. Because when they came in there, they really moved,
Hmm.
and they really moved me quick. I couldn't believe how
Yeah,
fast.
because they're pros.
Um, they did the job.
That's how they could do it quickly, is what
They
I'm.
did the job.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did the job. But anyway, so I've sort of carved those boxes out and know where my stuff is now. But I'm experiencing some joy and some freedom that I haven't experienced before. I used to take 10, I think 10 bottles of pills. Well, I didn't take the bottle all at once, but I mean from 10 bottles of pills for various health reasons. And I basically take my medication for my blood pressure and the sugar pill that goes with it. And so that's a radical change because I was born allergic. I was, a lot of times when you're, if you've heard the term, which many of you have, empathic, you pick up ultra sensitive stuff. And I was allergic from birth. And anyway, to give you a little impression of where I grew up and who I am, I'm from a family of 6. I am the baby girl, 3 big brothers, and mom and dad. And I grew up in one street away from Blue Ridge, as I describe it. And it's in the Crown Hill area of Ballard. And I loved coming back. It felt like home. And I met so many wonderful, incredible people in Wenatchee that I still stay in touch with. But this was a move that I really needed to do. And soon enough, guess what? I found this job, this gig. And I said, Eric, to another Eric, Eric with a K, I said, hey, let's do this. And he said, okay, let's do it. And Soulful Synchronicities was born. And what I want to do is I want to help you with a few tools, or maybe you might want to call them hacks, that have helped me find a little more ease in life. I believe we are spirit beings filled with light, lots of it. I believe in the power of I am statements. And I have like this art thing that I like to do, right? So I don't know where I put this so the camera sees it. Does the camera see it? Thumbs up. So anyway, this isn't like, I didn't say I was really talented with my art, but I love to do it. And so on the top of my mirror at home in the eraser boards, well, in eraser board pens, I put I am statements. So I am love. I am strong. I am open. I am hope. I am delightful. I am at ease. I am peace. I am limitless. I am light. I am calm. I am happiness. I am woman. That has to be part of the deal, you know.
You got to say, hear me roar after that.
Right? Hear me roar. Okay, I can do a roar much better, but yeah, I'm going to save that for some other time. But anyway, I've experienced so many things, and I want to be able to pass them on to you. And Eric, let me tell you, you know what? It's kind of odd not talking when there's music going, or when there's not talking when there's not music going. Isn't that odd? Because I'm so used to it. It might not be odd to you, but it's so odd to me. I always have like some song underneath me. But anyway, I believe that we might be walking around in human bodies. Obviously we are, but we are all creators, wonderful creators. And do you believe that you've possibly created everything that exists in your life? Well, I mean, don't you think maybe you wanted some true challenges? I certainly did, I guess. Last night at 5 p.m., I had a horrible thing manifest, and I can't believe that it manifested. But you know what? I am proud of myself in that won't ever happen again, ever. And maybe I'll share that weeks and months, whatever, down the road. But I am learning and growing all the time. I will not stop learning until the day I die. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm going to keep learning after dying too. My dear mother showed me with her life, by example, truly, her whole life, how we are so here to help each other. We are big time here to help each other. Some hard time in my life was when it was years ago, and about 8 years ago probably, and my mom was showing signs of a horrible disease, and that was Alzheimer's. And I was the kid in the family that could come and help Everybody else was working, sister-in-laws too. And so my dad asked me, because he didn't cook and he needed some help, and anybody dealing with that sort of thing, I understand how you could need help in a big way. I would never wish that on anybody. But my mom has been like my best friend through the years. And so I came and I helped. And what a difficult thing that and other diseases I can think of right off the top of my head are just so unfair. But I faced it and I hung out. They were living in a beautiful home in Coopville, right on Whidbey Island here in Washington. And so I would go and I would be there 4 days with them and cook and watch out for mom and help. And then I would go home, and I would go home to a marriage that was kind of failing. And so really rough time in my life where I learned so much. And I had 3 brothers that supported me so well through this whole journey of trying to figure out how to help somebody that, it almost, how do you do that? How do you do that? Eric, there was one day that I woke up and she had taken off before I woke up. She wanted me to be able to sleep. She'd taken off on the bus and gone to another town, and I went a little bonkers.
Yeah, as you might. Yeah.
Oh, I was so concerned with what had happened to her. And so I got some people involved because I wanted her to be okay. And anyway, once she walked up the street, I was, of course, talking to the sheriff and trying to work things out, and so relieved to see her. But that was just one day out of it. And anyway, so that was a really tough time. And it's tough enough to be with someone that has a challenge like that. But it's so much more tougher to be with the person that's been your best friend as an adult, that has seen you through so many things as a kid. I was a crabby kid. I came in, like I said, allergic. The boys were kind of easy compared to me. I was an emotional girl full of feelings. And I found that it made other people more comfortable when I held my feelings in. So I stuffed them with food, and I just stuffed them. And it was a thing of trying to survive in a world that was kind of Technicolor's crazy, to try to put a sort of a thing into it. But anyway, and then so I'm stuffing my feelings, with food, right? Well, by 6th grade, of course, I really liked this one guy, and he actually wrote down, he was signing, like we had this, it was 6th grade. It was right before junior high. And he signed something about my weight and that I had to lose weight. And it was a big ouch. And then let's fast forward. I was 29, and someone very close to me, not him, told me that I was less of a person because of my weight. And that sent me down the rabbit hole. Yes, I did a visual aid for this. Down the rabbit hole. One of the worst bunnies I've ever created. But, anyway, it was, I had not much of a will to go on. It was a terrible, terrible time in my life. I must have called in sick to my job, I think 15 times, something like that. And then there came a time when, they were very nice about it. Must have been because I'm sweet. I always get the sweet comment, but they what they did is they met with me and said, this is mutually agreeable, and that was fine because I was unhappy and not me, and just down, down, down. Well, luckily, about a year ago, I had gone through broadcasting school, and I had a kick of a time. It was so much fun. I was in a really talented class of people, and it was just so cool. And so anyway, what I did was I was already working at this place, Honda of Seattle, and I didn't want to I was really scared, Eric. It was like trying to get into a new position altogether because I had been doing clerical for 10 years. And so I was really scared. So I held off on that. Well, back to the 29 and having this awful thing said to me. Basically, what I did is I just kind of hid in my apartment. And my mom hadn't heard from me in forever. And this was a time when she was very well. And so she had my dad drive her over. They were living in Oregon at the time in a little town called Canby, taking care of my grandma, who was ailing and almost died soon after that. And anyway, so they came and found me surviving on saltines and being very, very unhappy. Well, she linked me up with this little old man, and I don't usually describe people that way, but he was little and he was much older than me and a man, and he was a counselor. And he talked about depression, and he said that depression is anger turned inward. That made me really stop. Depression, anger turned inward. That kind of made a lot of sense to me. And so he helped me, and with visualization exercises and more, to get back on my feet. And I did a little day trip with my mom and dad in Leavenworth to go to Leavenworth. And I had been on the train in the snow over to Leavenworth when I was a kid with my best friend Kari. And it was wonderful, but I didn't remember a whole lot of it. So I was 29 and, in Leavenworth, and I thought, hey, maybe I could work on the air and live in Leavenworth. Well, it turns out I came back and ran to my placement director's office at my broadcasting school, and I was going to camp out on his doorway until he gave me, some sort of placement, some lead to go on. And would you believe the first thing that he comes up with is Wenatchee? It was just amazing to me. It was clearly wonderful. And so I drove there, found out that I was between two. It was just between two people. So I was pretty confident. Drove back. Kind of felt like I deposited my soul in Wenatchee, and because I was just so sure. And so I went back, found out I had the job, called all my brothers and my mom and dad, my mom and dad kind of thought I was a little crazy because
you mentioned your brothers a couple of times now. How many brothers do you have? Three brothers. All right.
Yes, and
so good sized family.
Yeah, 9 years older than me, 8 years older, and 5 years. And so, yeah, the baby. I've got the baby personality, but,
Nice. And I didn't mean to get you off track.
No.
I'm just painting the picture in my head as you tell this story.
No, I appreciate that.
It's nice to get some of the details,
Yeah. So I called every last one of my brothers, and they were so excited for me. And then my mom and dad were a little on the crazy end of it. thinking, what are you doing? Because I was going to be paid, I believe it was $850 a month. That might be higher than what it was going to be, but that was low back then.
Yeah.
And he discouraged me in getting another job because he wanted me all there and, to do remotes where we go out to shops and, everything. And so I didn't care. I just wanted the job and I knew it was right for me. So I rejoined my soul, found an apartment with my mom's help, and lived there, and within months met the man that I ended up marrying, and my daughter, who I fell in love with about the same time as my husband, and then we had a son just shortly thereafter. And fast forward, he's 25 years old now. So you can kind of figure out my age, but I'll tell you what it is. It's 56. I'm proud of it. But anyway, so I've had some really tough times, and I kind of feel like, well, I think we're going to talk about this after the break. Can we go to break right now?
You bet.
Okay.
Everybody stay tuned for more Soulful Synchronicities with Rebecca Callahan.
Hi, I'm attorney turned life coach Sunny Joy, host of Sunny in Seattle. I invite you to join me every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on Alternative Talk 1150 a.m. KKNW. Each week, I'll be bringing you amazing coaches, authors, and healers who are on a mission to encourage you, inspire you, and give you tools to live a life filled with joy, peace, freedom, and purpose. I look forward to connecting with you every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Sunny in Seattle, radio that positively shines.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. When I woke up, I couldn't speak or walk.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
182 over 100, and I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke. Everything changed. It felt like my life was over.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke. If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
180 over 110, and I had a stroke. And I'm 33, so I never see this coming.
If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed. Head to toe.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
Make us part of your daily routine. Alternative Talk 1150.
The show is Soulful Synchronicities, always heartfelt with an electric feel. Now your host, Rebecca Callahan.
So if you know that song, Electric Feel from MGMT, that sort of prompted me to say with an electric feel, because there's going to be a little electricity in this show. I'm Rebecca Callahan. This is Soulful Synchronicities, and this is so much fun to have you here. I really appreciate you listening or watching, whatever you're doing. Hey, Eric, can we remind all the different ways because there are so many different ways to tune in.
Best thing to do, if you're driving around, of course, dial us up on your radio at 1150 a.m. Or if you've got a radio near you, that's the best thing, easiest thing to do, I think, even in this modern age. But if you can't pick up the signal on the radio, 1150kknw.com is the website. You can listen online. You can watch this show online. And there's also a link to download our app to your mobile device. So whether it's your phone or your tablet, you can take us with you wherever you go.
Cool.
So, we try and make it real easy for folks.
The other Eric was explaining to me if you have an HD cable, too, and live in Western Washington.
Well, if you have an HD radio.
That increases it to 100,000 watts. Ooh.
Yeah, if you've got an HD radio, you can dial in at 98.9 HD3, And then you can listen on your FM HD radio.
That's right. So number 3 for that.
That's right.
And say it again. 80. What is it again?
It's 98.9.
98.9
HD3.
I'll have that memorized next time.
So it's our sister station, Country 98.9, and then just the subchannel is HD3.
Yes, and Warm 109 is here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a big radio station here. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
So when you win a prize, ooh, it looks so sweet when you walk in, and
Sure, yeah, Hubbard Radio.
So
here.
like big, huge honking components. Just I don't know. It just impressed me when I first saw it. And I have a studio here that I can have like 4 guests and people for phone conversations. And I never finished this. But one of my favorite things about this new gig is you, because of that. I guess I did kind of talk about that a little bit, but because I really like that I get to focus on my content, and now I'm going to have to go back home and think, okay, it's a little different when you don't have music playing, because I'm looking at an intro. Oh, 38 seconds. 38 seconds is a long intro, and it's a little different without music. And so I'm going to work on that in my head. It makes it good when you get to, I'm glad that we did that kind of take one kind of practice last week too.
Sure, we did a test.
And that
show
helped
last
me
week,
get here safe and sound and
Good.
get through the parking garage and everything. I have been looking around. I'm going to, change subjects a little bit, but I've been looking around on the web and finding some fantastic children's books because I think it's so much, they're easy concepts to take, and maybe you are reading them to your kids or your grandkids, but they're good for all of us. And I found this really neat book, and they can see that okay, right? For people looking on video.
Looks like it's called I Am Peace.
Yeah.
A book of mindfulness.
Yeah, it's really cute. It has really cute illustrations, but it's by Susan Verdi. And I just turned to a page, and this is what it says. I give myself a moment. I take a breath, and then I tell myself, it's all right. I feel the ground beneath my feet and steady myself. And it's just a bunch of that, it's kind of like, the problems that kids face and the challenges and, how they can rise above that. I just was so impressed. And many of the kids' books coming out right now are about that kind of thing, kind of the body, mind, spirit. And I haven't connected with my body. I was so busy with stuffing and, not speaking my feelings. And now I am doing that so much more and feeding my body different foods, natural foods, and it likes it a lot better. But anyway, it's just the mind, body, soul connection is, we chose bodies. We know this because we have bodies. And to treat our bodies well is a pretty good thing. So anyway, so I was going to tell you, a niece of mine, Katie, she gave me this for my for Christmas. The Universe Has Your Back, and you probably know, or you might know the author, Gabrielle Bernstein. And I chose this card the other day, and I just have left it out because I liked it so much, and it kind of went with the show. But it says, my capacity to tune in to the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. And So, once again, real quick, my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. I get power sometimes just from singing. And I grew up where I had two brothers that played the piano really well. And one of them loved show tunes like I did. And Eric, do you know what I do when I kind of feel maybe scared about something? Have I told you about that?
You like
what
to
I
sing
do?
show tunes?
I do. Like
What are your favorite shows that you like
you
to
know,
pick from?
oh, thank you for asking. The Sound of Music, and I know it's nobody else's favorite. Just kidding. Fiddler on the Roof.
Tradition, right?
If I were a rich man.
Uh-huh.
And let's see. Cinderella. You are too young for this, I think. But when I was young, they played every, I don't know if it was Easter time or something like that, but they played this great. Do you know the actress Leslie Ann Warren?
The name sounds familiar, but I'm not seeing a face in my head when you say that name.
Victor Victoria, did you ever see that movie?
I remember. I think I was
Crazy
a little
Girlfriend?
too young for
James
seeing that.
Garner's Crazy
Okay.
Girlfriend, the dark-haired one. Anyway, she was Cinderella, and there was a stage, there was a Broadway version of this Cinderella, but this was like a made-for-TV kind of thing.
Okay.
And I even have it on DVD. I love it so much. But yeah, so that's another one that I love. My Fair Lady. All I want is a room somewhere.
So all these classics.
Yeah, the classics, Camelot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of the Richard. No. The man that was a best buddy of Robin Williams. He was Superman. Superman. Who was Superman? Help me out.
Are we talking about Christopher Reeve?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Christopher Reeve. He was in a movie with Jane Alexander. Am I getting the right Jane? Anyway, and Somewhere in Time. Thank you. Somewhere in Time is that movie, and just beautiful music. But anyway, when I get kind of really nervous or excited, I will sing from Sound of Music. She is getting on the bus. She's ready to go visit those kids for the first time, meet those kids. And she's a little apprehensive about the deal, but she sings about it. And so just a line or two. I have confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. I have confidence that spring will come again. Oh, that's right. That's why I wanted to get that out, because spring is going to come again. Everybody's talking about that, don't you think?
We're just a few days away.
Okay, so what is the day?
Let me look it up.
Is it
real
March
quick.
March something? Must be.
Yes, March something.
March something. Let's just call it March something. But yeah, spring is on the way.
Tuesday, March 20th.
March 20th. Hang in there. March 20th is on the way. But wow, we have had, I've got to say this because the snow, I thought I moved away from the snow with Wenatchee, but we've had snow here.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm sure the Wenatchee snow experience is a little bit different.
It was magnified big
than-
time for
than the
them
Seattle
recently
snow
too. Yeah,
experience, sure.
yeah, most definitely. And it was so perfect though. I thought on Christmas Eve to have snow
We had a white Christmas.
and a white Christmas the next day. Yeah.
Yeah, and for us, that's a pretty rare thing. So
I thought that was kind of magical. But anyway, with this show, what I want to do is I want to bring my goofball out, which I gave you a little impression of that just now, because that's a big, big part of me. And I have had some really good gains in liking myself a lot better. In fact, loving myself. And I have chosen to love myself for me, what I am right now, not once I get my hair done, not once I get perfect in fluent French or something. Once I do something.
Parlez-vous français?
Ah, oui, je parle un peu français. But you see, I took it in junior high. But yeah.
I took it in high school.
Yeah, you
so,
did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know it much better than me. Go ahead.
I was going to say, when I went to France for the first time, as soon as
Yeah.
I got off the plane, like every word of French that I knew just suddenly flew out of my head. So
Went out the window.
yeah, exactly.
I bet.
So when I got back, then I remembered a few more words. But boy, if you're not speaking it every day, it really does disappear.
Yeah. Can you think back on French class and remember French class? I can so remember French class and the
Absolutely.
teacher.
Yeah.
And did you go through the same teacher the whole
Yes.
way?
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of nice.
It was Mademoiselle Nola Fetters.
Oh,
Do you remember your French
very
teacher's name?
nice. Yes, Monsieur Sant.
Uh-huh.
And yes.
Oui, oui.
And yeah, my favorite after French class line is pauvre petit. Do you remember that one? What that means? Poor baby. Pauvre petit. It's just so much fun to say, but not much of other,
Right.
French has really, je and tu and all that. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm a silly girl, but I've gotten to actually love myself and hone into what's important. And one of the things that's helped me, other than the massive support network that I have that has come through for me this time, I was feeling a bit of the jitters. You're not on my Facebook yet, Eric. So like I was feeling a bit of the jitters last night, and it's because this show is so important to me too. And it's a different deal, not playing music, but talking the whole time. And so I was a little nervy about it and asked if people would light a candle, blow a kiss, think a good thought, prayer, whatever, a whisper, whatever they wanted to do. And people just are so wonderful. They just come through. And I'm sure there were so many people that didn't comment on it that did things, that just thought of me for a glimpse and kind of wished me luck under their breath. And I just love that. People are so supportive, and I don't know, I'm not going to probably talk about this a lot, but with some of the stuff and judgments and everything that are out right now, the things being done, there are focus on those people that you know and love, because they're kind of the big truth in the deal. You are linked up with so many, wouldn't you say, so many special people in your life. But what I was going to say too is meditation has been a huge thing for me, to take time and just meditate. And I have heard people like Sonia Coquette talk about, if you're folding towels, just folding clothes, you're meditating. I mean, something that takes the focus off of what's, necessarily going on, and for you to just kind of clear your mind, take a short walk, take whatever. The outdoors, I know that that's so important, because there's nature all around us that is supporting us. And that's a challenge that I still need to work on. And how about I challenge all of us? I'm going to challenge each of us to a walk, and I'm going to say once this week before you see me again, take a walk, and it can be around the block twice, but take a walk. I challenge you to do that, and I take that challenge very seriously as well. But I found with my learning, the great tools that I learn and the hacks and everything, I've been learning these things all my life. But the fact is, until I apply it, it doesn't do too much. Eric, have you ever found that? It's like if you learn something, but it has to be applied, it doesn't do that much good.
Well, that's what I was just talking
Unless
about.
it's applied.
About trying to speak French, was that I learned it, but I didn't apply it. And then when I went to apply it, then I kind of unlearned it, so to speak. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, that's just kind of, that's fish out of water kind of thing. That's me talking without a music bed underneath me, I mean, it's kind of different. And you walking into France and having everybody speak that language.
Right. And quickly.
Yeah. That must have been pretty scary.
It was, but as you say, if you apply your knowledge on a regular basis, then it becomes second nature.
Yeah.
So then you're no longer the fish out of water.
Yeah, right. Second nature. And second nature is so much more comfortable than hearing all these French, all these French discussions going on, and you don't know what to do.
Right.
And all you can think of is we.
That's right. I can remember that one. I could remember we, which is yes, or no is no.
Yeah. Yeah, no was really tough to remember, huh?
But those really, when you think about it, are the most important words in any language. Yes and no.
Yeah.
And also, where's the bathroom?
Well, yes.
That's the other important one.
That's true. It's a good thing to know. But one more thing in that equation. So you've got the learning the information, and then you're ready to apply it. But what I found is there's other criteria here. And the other component that I found to be the thing for me is to love myself. I had been doing a whole lot of not doing that for years and years. And loving me is cool. And I've got a few ideas. But first, once again, not until after you've done something, but like right now. I'm going to love me right now, not until after I overcome all those bad habits, or I've been reading, or not after I read those books that I've been postponing reading. No, when you can. I have a suggestion. Go look into the mirror, not to fix your hair, check your clothes or whatever, look for wrinkles, but look into those beautiful eyes of yours. Do this for yourself. Take a long, deep look, because I really believe when I look into someone's eyes and focus, I really can look into their soul. See that beautiful soul of yours in there once you're looking in the mirror into your eyes. I challenge but truly support you in loving wonderful you. Tell yourself, looking at your beautiful self in the mirror, I love you. Do this again and again and again. I love you. I love you. I care about you. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. You are a fantastic person. You are strong, or I am strong. Little echo there. And this is a little something to help you remember what I talked about with the mirror. I love you. I am here for you always. I believe in you, and I believe in the power of a mirror. 2.5 years ago, I was saying goodbye to a husband I had been with for a whole lot of years, over 25 of them. I was in a toxic, with a T, 9 months ago relationship. Although it had ended, it had not. We were still living in the same place. Days later, that person moved. Yay. I walked off that job that I had been trying to get back to loving, but all I got was negative feedback. July 2017. Yep. When I didn't give the 2 weeks notice. And I am not saying walk off the job. I am just saying I did what I needed to do. I walked, and like I say, you almost can hear this voice go, oh, and the heavens started rearranging, and my life truly started changing for the good. And I mean, really good. And I moved back to the area that I love, that I grew up knowing. And I just seem to hear this information when I need to hear it. Have you ever just had a question for yourself, asking the universe, hey, let me know about this, and you find out about it? It's truly, truly, I don't use the word awesome very often, but it is. Eric, by the way, I love your guitar playing.
Oh, well,
you
thank you.
are amazing on that guitar.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we have fun for sure.
Will you please remind us of the name of your band so you can
Sure.
look 'em up?
It's Battersea. That's Battersea.
Battersea.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So how are we on time? We're about wrapping up, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got about 2 minutes left in the show.
Yeah. So I made this thing the other day, and it may not make any sense. How's that? Can they see that? And you know what it's about? It's I'll be me, and you'll be you, and we'll all be free.
Nice to have props.
Yeah,
we don't
I
normally
know.
have props in the
I
studio,
know,
so
I
it's
know, but it's yeah. It was just fun that way, because I like my art so much.
And anybody that's not watching on the video stream and just listening into the show, the eye was an eyeball.
The eye was an eyeball.
That's right.
Yes.
Just trying to give
Flash
a
it
little
again,
visual
yes.
description. Yeah,
See?
in a heart.
Yeah.
And there you've got, it looks like the earth.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Bad
you
art,
be you
but,
equals a free world.
I'll be me and you'll be you.
Or a world of freedom.
And
maybe.
we'll all be free.
I love it.
Thank you. I liked it too. So I'm going to just surprise you with what's going on for next week. I'm going to talk to a couple of people, but I'm just going to keep it all secret.
Cool.
I think we're going to talk about cell phones, though.
We all have them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
It's
a
really-
topic everybody can relate to.
It's
so.
really funny when I pull in, it's like mobile. Let's see. Who are the pink guys? that are-
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yeah. Anyway, they all were getting off for lunch, I think, or many, right? And they're walking down, looking at their.
They're always working.
Well, yeah, but they're walking. I mean, everybody is like doing that. They're having their phone and they're looking down as they walk.
Yeah.
And yeah, just
Sometimes
like,
they almost walk into cars.
put put that phone back in the pocket every once in a while. Look into somebody's eyes. It's incredible.
Be mindful of the world around you.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
I
message
love that.
to leave
That's
folks
such a
with.
great message. Yeah. You have a great week. Thanks for listening and watching.